Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome back for our second series of the night. We've got Rising Stars taking on LGD, and a battle that really is going to determine the fate of both of these teams in quite a big way, except in different ways. Rising Stars has yet to make an appearance here in the D2L Eastern Division, while LGD has made appearances and made themselves felt. They currently lead the league in standing and are just about halfway through their schedule now, which means with a win here, if they can remain unblemished, they're going to be in a great position to guarantee a playoff appearance at the very least and position themselves for an excellent run towards that first place position, which will automatically qualify them for our grand finals in Las Vegas coming up in January. Taking a look at the way these two teams match up, Rising Stars, a team full of experience and full of talent, and a team that really, if you don't keep up with the Eastern scene as much as perhaps many of us would like, sometimes you can only have so many hours of the day, it's easy to sleep on just how good this team is and how many big names now stud its lineup. Led by XDD, the hard support, King J sets up shop in the off lane with CTY in mid, and CTY actually rose to prominence. He bounced around teams a little bit, but CTY is a player who actually made his name in the Chinese scene by winning a one-on-one mid-tournament, defeating players like Ferrari, among many others. So the guy definitely has some serious skills out of that mid position and is considered by many to be one of the brightest shining stars appropriately for this team in the entire Chinese side of things. QQQ in the support/jungle role, and of course, Sylar on carry. Again, they're currently sitting at the bottom of the standings because they have yet to make an appearance, but the other side of the coin, LGD. LGD, again, has been seen play quite a bit already. Sitting at the top of the standings for the moment, Yao sets up shop in the offlane with DD in the support jungle. Zhao 8, a mid player that's going to be tested by CTY. He's the leader, with Zhao Tuji on the carry position and DDC on the hard support. We can take a look at our full standings now if we want to pull that play. Not updated, it's fine. Yes, exactly. There you go. Hashtag Fire Sesh. It's all good. DK actually took a loss there, and Invictus has improved. So Invictus now sitting in fourth position according to this plate. They're currently 2-1 though after that surprising 2-0 win over Team DK. Team DK sitting in fifth position. Yes, they're the best of the rest, for lack of a better way to put it, but having split their first two appearances, I think that's actually a pretty big surprise. DK is considered by many to be the best going coming out of the Chinese teams. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers, live on the floor of our studio here in downtown San Francisco. Our second series just about to kick off. LGD taking on Rising Stars. I'll be joined by Ben Merlini Wu, as always, bringing you the insight and analysis, and of course, all of the matches tonight on 6.79. We've already seen some really fun stuff. Everything from Nyx Assassin's Nerf to the Roshan timer and the casters having to figure that out. It's been a lot of fun so far. Going to be a lot more fun looking ahead. We have our third series coming up following the conclusion of this one, so settle in, pop open a beer, grab something to eat, and get ready to enjoy some Dota. We'll be right back here on the HyperX D2L Season 4.
10 seconds remaining.
And we're all set for Game 1. Rising Stars making their premiere here in the Eastern Division, being tested very early by LGD, who again sits atop the standings as of right now. The draft underway. We can see that Lich ban coming out very quickly from LGD, and Merlini and I spoke briefly about that during our first series, and we'll cover that some more, I'm sure, moving ahead, not just through tonight, but through the rest of Division play here on 6.79. Timbersaw and Naga Siren leading things off for LGD. Elder Titan and Razor leading things off for Rising Stars. And a couple of heroes leading things off in the Timbersaw and the Elder Titan, which have been very, very popular in a variety of lineups, run out of a variety of positions. But both actually did get hit by the Nerf Hammer a little bit in 6.79. Elder Titan losing some damage on his Astral Spirit, while Timbersaw had his mana cost and mana management problems a little bit exacerbated to bring him back into the realm of reason. And to break down the draft and give you the knowledge, the insight, the analysis you crave so much, Ben Merlini Wu, who might be muted, I'm pretty sure.
Hello.
There's the man. Welcome in, my friend.
What's up? And we see a Lich ban again. Outside of that, everything's pretty standard. Kunkka actually banned out by Rising Stars Gaming. LGD has used it occasionally. I'm not exactly sure why they banned it out. I don't really think he's that big with it. He got buffed out, but Xiao 8 has run it sometimes. Respect ban, I suppose.
Well, you know, whenever I say a Kunkka ban, that just tells me it's a team that wants to have the ability to apply a lot of pressure early. And I think that fits even with the Gyrocopter ban. Gyro, as good as he can be late game, is a hero who really does just make it hard to get aggressive. He can transfer from farming, flash farming as a matter of fact. He can flash farm with the best of them between Rocket Barrage and Flak Cannon. And then just having the call down to use as an anchor kind of an ability allows you to keep pressure off of yourself and make it very hard to be engaged into. And Kunkka's Ghost Ship serves the exact same purpose. The cooldown on it is ridiculously low, 60 seconds at level 6, and it goes down and down from there. So when I see those two heroes banned down here from Rising Stars, tells me they just don't want LGD to be able to pressure them as much as they want to be able to pressure LGD.
They haven't banned out Alchemist too. I think that's another one of those heroes, the early game fighter that can also duo as a late gamer. Oh wow, the early Phantom Lancer pick from Rising Stars, and I guess that's also more of a deny pick too.
Yeah.
LGD was kind of setting that up with keeping it light, but at the same time, Rising Stars already has like a very strange lineup. Razor and Phantom Lancer are already pretty farm dependent. They don't have any good supports in the pool. LGD suspects that they were probably trying to go for some sort of late game with Anti-Mage. This is just a very unusual draft, even like 6.78 or even 6.79. It's just strange overall.
Yeah, the Razor pickup, I mean, when you look at what he's going to be up against, they kind of pick that. You know, I see that come out, and I wonder what the reason for it coming out that early is. Razor's a hero who usually only gets banned down if he's a true counter to some hero you have, say a Lifestealer, that kind of a thing. And just not the case here. When he was grabbed up, there really wasn't any good reason. I mean, obviously, Timbersaw, if you can get on top of him, that's fine, sap some of his damage, but he's not the biggest right-clicker. He's very dependent on his abilities and, of course, on his items. But Naga Siren, Keeper of the Light, very much in the same boat. I'm with you. I feel like Rising Stars is kind of throwing a curveball here, and we're all kind of whiffing on it.
Yeah, I do think they have to have an unusual draft, though, or maybe just outdraft LGD overall if they want to win. I think LGD 70-30 favorites, LGD China. That's pretty significant. It's about the same as we saw DK IG, but IG definitely coming out on top. But in this particular matchup, just LGD seems to be really stumped by that PL pick, though, just because they just used a minute of their reserve time, and I still don't know whether they're actually just taken off guard by the Phantom Lancer, or whether they want to take it for themselves. I'm just unclear.
And Crystal Maiden going to be the next pickup coming out of Rising Stars, and I'm kind of, they seem like they've got a nice mix. I mean, the Phantom Lancer is going to give them plenty of late game potential. They have the counter pick potential of a Razor. And Weaver is a nice hero to pick into that, just because Weaver is so innately hard to track down and stay on top of, even for a hero like Razor, who is so very dependent on closing that gap and keeping the gap. Basically time-lapse Shikuchi. Just make it very hard for Razor to really suck the damage he wants out. They're going to have some nice team fight. Crystal Maiden got the buff to her ultimate coming out in the latest patch. Elder Titan, again, did get hit with the Nerf Hammer a little bit, but really, even in that case, it's not that Astral Spirit it is more of a lane-dominating kind of a thing. It does have its strengths, but really what makes him who he is his passive. Natural Order just makes it so difficult to fight against him early on. And, I wonder if Rising Stars is just going to play this almost as a pure 4 Protect 1. You've got two good team fighters in ET and Crystal Maiden, and then you've got the late game potential of a Phantom Lancer, and LGD doesn't really have a good answer to that right now.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going all out with the gank, but Night Stalker plus Coddle is like a little bit strange. It's a little bit strange with Weaver, though. They're trying to chase down Hero, but they don't actually have that much lockdown. They have like Naga Siren and Snare. Other than that, it's pretty difficult to chase down heroes. It's going to really be on Night Stalker to take advantage of the new nighttime and daytime shift. Also, Phantom Lancer plus Crystal Maiden. This may be the new Phantom Lancer Keeper of the Light, and it's actually like pretty offensive too. Crystal Maiden way more offensive of a hero than Keeper of the Light, but also provides a mana region that is pretty necessary for Phantom Lancer, so he can skip over to Soul Ring and Tranquil Boots and just go for straight damage and farm items like we see most of the PLs do.
I love the Night Stalker pickup, talking with friends and other people. This is the hero I most want to see in action coming out. A 6.79. He is a hero who, I mean, there was a long period of time where he was popular, then he wasn't, but he was situational, and then you saw teams experimenting with putting him in weird places and off-lane situations and trying to run aggressive tri lanes and solo farm him in safe lane, and a lot of things you did with him. But with this patch, the hero just completely changes the way the game is played, and even the changes in the game aren't just directly related to him, but still have a huge effect on him. For example, the fact that the day-night cycle is only 4 minutes instead of 6 minutes now, which means he's going to have essentially an increased relevance of 33% throughout the entire length of a game, on top of having his ultimate. And then you factor in just how devastating it is, the loss of vision that Night Stalker now gives with his ultimate. It's really going to be tough to deal with. You want to talk about all-out gank? It's basically permanent smoke at night, and night lasts. Comes around much more often now.
And Enchantress also got a huge night vision nerf too. She no longer has ultra vision with that full, I believe, 1800 range. I think it's nerfed all the way down to 800. That's very, very significant for Enchantress. And again, a mix of early game and late game for Rising Stars. They have the Enchantress and the CM heavily geared towards the early game. PL, Razor, Elder Titan more towards that mid and later game. LGD just going with the gank. The only one that doesn't fit into strategy, though, is Keeper of the Light, unless they use him very effectively with the recalls, dragging people around the map. For example, Night Stalker, if he sees a ward here, he can just like run through a river and then get recalled to bottom lane, and they can just drag around Rising Stars and approach them very unexpectedly with ganks. We most of the time see it with Keeper of the Light plus Storm Spirit, just because Storm Spirit has way higher mobility and he synergizes way better with an infinite mana stream. But I guess this is something pretty unique that we may see.
Looks like they are thinking about running an aggressive tri lane. I would love it if they would. Keeper of the Light is going to go ahead and split back up, though. He is heading to mid. We're going to have a brief pause as LGD gets things in line, but while we wait on them to get things underway, I want to once again thank each and every one of you for tuning in for our second day of our second weekend of play here at the Eastern Division of the HyperX D2L. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers, joined by Ben Merlini-Wu. We've got this series followed by another coming up after, so make sure you settle in, and hopefully it's not getting too late where you are. I know the time zones, especially for our European viewers, a little bit difficult, and if you're listening to the replay and hearing my voice now, I'm just so happy that Valve is awesome enough to give you that option, or if you're just watching the VOD, whatever, what have you. Nonetheless, horn's going to blow, and we're going to get moving. Siler will be playing on our Phantom Lancer. We're going to have the Enchantress handled by QQQ. They are going to challenge the rune, and we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. It will be a DD, and Yao's going to protect it, at least for the moment. Looks like they're going to bring down, yep, give it to DD just because he is ranged. That'll allow them to do a little bit more harassment, get a little bit more out of it directly without risking a lot of health. And as they invade the jungle, again, Yao will be on our Timbersaw. The Naga Siren going to be played by DDC, with Weaver played by Rabbit. And in mid, Zhao 8 will be playing on the Night Stalker. Really excited to see exactly what he's going to be up to. Finishing off Rising Stars, King J will be setting up shop in the offlane, going one-on-one against the Weaver with the Elder Titan. Razor will be played by CTY. Again, if you don't know his name and don't know his history, he's a player that has a history and basically has made his name performing against top-tier talent, so definitely want to keep an eye on him. And Crystal Maiden will be played by XDD.
And we already see some unusual builds coming out. CTY on Razor has went for Boots first, as has the Elder Titan King J playing him in the top lane. So a lot of money invested in the Boots. I don't really think it's that necessary. It's pretty good on Razor, but he's already versed a melee hero. He shouldn't have that hard of a time. Looks like Night Stalker has been pulled a couple of tangos and is already faring over his bottle on this cute scuttling Scotty Penguin Courier.
Now on both
Seeing more
sides,
unusual
DDC
things.
spotted out as he kind of gave the loop around. A lot of kill potential on both sides. I want to see how quickly Keeper of the Light puts a point into Mana Leak. The kill potential, of course, between Spirit Lance and especially once Crystal Maiden hits level 2, which shouldn't be too long now since she is spending a lot of time hanging out in lane. Between Nova and between Frostbite along with Spirit Lance, that's a lot of early DPS coming out. Well, a lot of early magic DPS coming out on a single target. And a hero like a Naga Siren, who is pretty squishy to begin with, as well as the Keeper of the Light, could be very susceptible to that. So even though this is an aggressive tri-lane coming out of LGD, they have to play this very, very carefully. They will get punished very badly for bad positioning.
Yep, QQ doing a pretty good job of farming up as well as harassing at the same time, using that Satyr to spam 5 shockwaves on those heroes. Yao actually did not have reactive armor at level 1, so forced to burn through a fair amount of regen. DD on the Keeper Light is actually out. Naka actually has a Stealth Shield as a support, which is pretty surprising considering most of the time she's away from that action anyways. We see a Frostbite on bottom, but no kill attempt there. Crystal Maiden going for the 1-1 build. No Arcane Aura yet, but I fully expect that will be taken up at level 3.
We see the first rune does go to Night Stalker, a nice regen. That'll let him stick in lane a little bit longer, hopefully allow him to play a little bit more risky, get some more last hits. Take a look at the battle of the off lane. Elder Titan stand right on Weaver. Weaver doing a bit of damage and getting a little ahead in experience, but for the most part, getting what he needs, which is levels. Having an Elder Titan being able to get early levels into natural order really is just devastating, not to mention the damage he's going to be able to start doing once he gets a few points into Astral Spirit, even after the nerf.
Xiao is having a really tough time in the middle, though. We're looking at 5-0 CS for him and 13-9 on CTY. So CTY is dominating pretty hard, almost 1 full level ahead of Xiao 8 right now. Bottom lane looks like people are setting up. XDD caught out.
Caught by the ensnare. There's a Frostbite to counter it. Here comes QQQ back over. There's that Spirit Lance and the Riptide. Not able to ward them off. Siler's on him. He's going to have another Spirit Lance in a minute. The Centaur was there along with a Dark Troll Warlord. That the Warlord actually just died. I'm a little surprised they didn't pursue that out. One Spirit Lance might have allowed them to catch the Keeper with a Centaur stomp, and that could have been all she wrote. But yeah, the Naga Siren pays the price for her aggression, making 1-0. Rising Stars, the upstarts, getting one over on LGD early.
They have a ward over here, but it's not very useful. I think that if they had a ward over here, they'd be able to see Enchantress coming. They went right as Enchantress was coming with 2 big creeps to the Troll Netter as well as a Centaur Conqueror. So not the best timing for them. PL doing okay in terms of farm, 15-5, but much better than the Timbersaw at least.
Well, to tell you the truth, the fact that they're doing so well in this lane at all, and here comes that early night, Zhao 8, as you mentioned, having a slow start means he may not want to be as active at this stage of the game as he would like if he had a better start. Yeah, he is going to go and double back and just use this first night to farm. But just to clarify a comment I made, I mean, obviously, if the day-night cycle is 4 minutes apiece, half the game's going to be day, half the game's going to be night. But early on, whenever he really wants to be trying to get ahead, having so many switches in that time and allowing him to be active so much more often early really does benefit the hero so much. And I really just can't wait to see what happens when he begins to roam around and they really begin to abuse the lack of vision that LGD or that Rising Stars is going to have.
Yeah, it's tough for level 5 Night Stalker to have a lot of impact. It looks like he's playing very aggressively on CTY. CTY, a full level ahead though, will pop his level 6 and discourage Xiao 8 from killing him. We see a 3-0-2 build on the Night Stalker, no points in Crippling Fear, so very unlikely that they will kill Phantom Lancer. But any other hero, still very good food for Xiao 8.
And right now, it's really remarkable how well that Rising Stars is dealing with this aggressive pressure coming out from LGD. They've had 3 heroes essentially dedicated over here, and they have had some help from QQQ ascending over the Wildkin, as we see now. We saw the Tornado there and so on and so forth. But they have essentially been by themselves up against LGD, who has largely been clumped and has that ranged potential coming out from DD. DD just has only hit 1 decent Illuminate so far, and Siler is farming remarkably well given it is essential on 3. He's at 23 CS behind only Razor and Weaver at this point. And as you mentioned, the Timbersaw sitting at 20. He's getting some work done, he's getting some farm, but he's not doing the best job in the world of denying out Siler.
And he's just a Timbersaw, he's not a Phantom Lancer.
Right, exactly.
Oh, we see the TP to the mid lane. Looks like they do want to kill Razor. Razor has a ward up the hill, though. He will be able to scout this TP out. So looks, I actually can't click on this ward for some reason. I can't check the range on the vision.
And CTY
though.
Yep. The static link is there. and able to sap enough damage to buy him enough time to TP away. The rune did spawn bottom. Didn't see what it was, but nonetheless, 6 minutes in, it's been a relatively quiet game. We've seen a little bit of movement here and there, but for the most part, both teams seem pretty comfortable just taking this laning phase in stride.
Yep, and Night Stalker's time to shine is almost gone. It's going to be just nighttime for another 1.5 minutes. Xiao 8 has not picked up his ultimate at level 6 instead. 303 build. CTY looks like he wants to go on middle. There is a Troll Netter, but that is the only spell that's going to lock him down. He does have phase boost, DDC no boost, so it looks like if he doesn't back off after this creep, though, he is going to die.
Ooh, Skeleton just about walked over the edge there, and hasn't been tipped off yet. Elsewhere, they
have this ward up here though, so I think they gain vision like right around this line, and I think the Satyr actually traversed it.
Here comes a smoked up Night Stalker though, not willing to squander these early 4 minutes of night. Looks like they might want to head south, and they will. Down at bottom, we've seen the 3 points in the Spirit Lance is actually doing a really good job of warding off Yao, who's taking a lot of damage, but Xiao 8 wants to put LGD on the board. We'll find out if he can. Ooh, Crystal made out by herself just for a moment. And Phantom Lancer quite far ahead. He does have
the smoke just pops.
Yep, he has 1 point in the Doppelwalk. And, yep, he's going to be fine. So Xiao 8 and DDC unable to execute the early gank, and the sun's going to be coming up in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, people think that Night Stalker is going to get a huge buff, but I don't actually think it's that big of a buff, just because like at 4 minutes in, you're like a level 4, level 5 Night Stalker. It's not really that effective. You really want to gank like once you hit level 7 with that really strong level 4 Void. Looks like he's getting initiated on a mid, but he has enough move speed to just simply run away.
CTY pops the plasma field, does a little bit of parting damage to Xiao 8 and DD, but not enough to track them down. Sun comes up, and looks like our Night Stalker will simply go back to jungling. And right now, QQQ has really been effective with this enchantment.
Oh, Yao on bottom lane?
And QQQ actually going to be eaten up down at bottom. We've got Yao being pursued, and they're being pursued in the jungle as well. He's going to be able to Timber Chain away. Nope, Phantom Lancer did manage to get him the Spirit Lance. In the meantime, QQQ being pursued by DDC. And CTY going to rotate over. Now the counter engagement. Oh, it actually broke the static link. DDC eating some impetus damage. Can CTY track him down? He's got his ultimate. Nah. He's going to run for the Ancients, try to deny himself, and will be able to do so. So DDC denying a nice kill. Xiao 8 still under pressure. Did a bit of damage to QQQ, and going to eat one more impetus spear in the back. Quite a damaging one. In fact, forces him to pop his wand charges just to make sure he stays in decent shape. CTY is working on his mechanism. In the meantime, our Phantom Lancer has finished his set of drums. Off to a great start for Silent.
Yeah, Xiao 8 and the rest of LGD are just getting shut out right now. At first nighttime has passed. They have no kills on the board. And that is one of the risks that you run with picking a Night Stalker. If you don't get any kills, you're really far behind. Xiao 8 only with 17 last hits. We see Razor with almost triple that at 45 last hits now. So CTY with this mech up, I mean, how are they going to actually kill him? They're having enough trouble like killing an under-leveled Enchantress as is. And then once the items start kicking in, once Phantom Lancer gets his Diffusal, or, I mean, here he has his drums off already. This is already kind of scary.
Yao being zoned out almost entirely now. He's down here by himself as we see the Naga Siren has rotated the top. Try and find some experience and gold, make sure that she gets her level 6 in due course. She's about halfway to level 5 now, so still a ways away. QQQ has shown his face a bit. And right now, I mean, King J sitting at just about level 9, so he's doing phenomenal. We haven't talked a lot about Rabbit, though. Rabbit sitting on top of our CS board. He's got 67 at the moment. He's already got up his Bassy Treads and the Ring of Health on his way to his Perseverance, and of course on his way to his eventual Lincoln Sphere. But Rising Stars, I mean, when you look at the damage output coming from LGD, they're going to have some AoE coming out from the Keeper of the Light and coming out from the Illuminate of from Timbersaw, from his Whirling Death and so on and so forth. But Phantom Lancer is going to be a very tough hero for them to deal with if this game goes too late.
Yeah, Night Stalker has to make something happen in the 12 to 16 minute mark.
Wandering around the wrong corner, Night Stalker's there, not a whole lot he can do. Uses the blinding light, not going to matter. Plasma Field's there to help finish things off. Very well-timed smoke coming out of XDD and QQQ. And Rising Stars is just kind of rolling over LGD here in this early game. We're 10 minutes in, and they are unblemished, making 4 to goose egg.
Yeah, and they have the better late game too. So if LGD doesn't get at least like 4 or 5 kills in a 12 to 16 minute mark, we're looking at LGD with not really much of a comeback mechanic. Night Stalker is not one of those heroes that you're like, hey, let's get back in the game by like smoke ganking with Night Stalker. That is just not something that happens, and he is a very snowbally kind of hero, kind of like TA, high risk, high reward.
And second night's going to be coming up very, very shortly now, 45 seconds out. And really anxious to see what he's going to do here. I mean, there comes a point, and this is the problem with those high-risk, high-reward heroes, as you mentioned, TA being a nice equivalent example, is even if you get behind, you can't just say, well, I'm behind, therefore I can't play that way. That's not, you don't really have that option with heroes like that. You have to make sure that you're being active and getting something out of their skill set while it matters, even if it is more difficult. So I feel like LGD is going to be much more under the gun now as the second night approaches us than they certainly would like to be. The Weaver's in good shape, but Weaver notoriously a hero who, other than contributing in 5-on-5s, just being that scurrying bug who gives you the armor reduction from the swarm and some magic damage, basically, hang on, it's there on King J, and that's going to force the TP, but he will be able to Shikuchi away. But he is a hero who takes
canceled out.
Takes a notoriously long time to really come into his own and get the items he needs to feel ultra effective.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Lincolns will be useful on him, but it's not going to come out like prior to like 18, 19 minutes at the earliest. Right. And here we see the first push of the game. LGD trying to make something happen right now. Xiao 8 is going to wrap from behind. He doesn't even have Trez completed, but he does have a haste. Looks like King J may fall if he stays up a little bit further.
And here we go. Xiao 8 going to take a run at him. There's the Void. No follow-up, though. Just trying to zone him out. Using the Astral Spirit to try and zone him out. We can see Sylar, XDD, and CTY deciding it's time to push as well. And DDC actually getting very low from that. Look at the damage still being done there. In the meantime, they're going to go ahead and go on King J. Throws out the Earth Splitter. Xiao 8 forced to pull back. Just doesn't have the items or the levels to really feel as effective as he was like to be. He's under-leveled compared to King J right now. King J's level 9. Xiao 8 sitting at just short of level 8.
Ooh, very close to getting a deny on the bottom. Is he actually going to die?
Frostbite.
Sylar, why did you stay so far back? Ooh, if he just Spirit Lance, he would have gotten the kill. But luckily, CTY is there. He has his mech up. Things are looking really bad for LGD. Like, I think that this may be a pretty early game if Sylar continues to get the farm that he does. We're talking about 2,800 gold on a PL, 2-0-0, 13 minutes. And this aggressive triple lane with the Timber Saw did not work. It kind of reminds me of Shadow Fiend in triple lane, where you just really need levels on Timbersaw.
I completely agree with you. I mean, unless you're going for something very, very narrowly defined, as in you want to bring down that tier 1 tower within the first 4 or 5 minutes, and you're just going to sell out for that. I agree. Like, just going there and saying we're going to try to farm even just rarely works out. As you mentioned, Sylar's farm, even though he is less in terms of pure CS, his net worth is actually higher thanks to tower kills and other kills as well. He's got 2,900 gold roughly in the bank. His diffusal is going to come out stupidly fast.
Yeah, it's in mid lane looking at CTY compared to Xiao 8. We have Phase and Mech compared to just Power Treads. So he's like very far ahead. They're recalling someone in right now. Oh, nope. I just saw the Horde ultimate, but they're not really using it for anything. Looks like they will get scouted out. I don't know what his ninja creep was doing there. Maybe it was Enchanter's creep, but Xiao 8 still scrambling to find kills. He is 0-0-0 Night Stalker. That is not a hero that you want to be 0-0-0 with 15 minutes in. And nighttime ends in about 1 minute. He has his darkness though, but still, they're just unable to find something around the map. And Rising Stars, as well as just teams in general, are very good at playing passively and defending early aggression, and this game is certainly no exception.
Weaver continues to make progress. His Perseverance is complete. He'll have an ultimate orb up and about 700 gold on his way to that Lincolns. They are going to try, and this is what we expected here, given the way the early game went. LGD just poking and prodding, looking to make anything they can happen. They're going to try to dive bottom, but they'll be diving into 3 heroes if they do. Or dive below top, I should say. Rabbit's actually going to be locked down. Time lapse is away. So spins his ultimate. DDC and Xiao 8 continuing to hang behind the tower. They're going to go for it. Yep, going to pop the ulti. Here comes the immediate TP. King J going to be blown up. CTY is there, though. And there's the Naga Sleep to buy them to... Are they going to retreat? Nope, there's the Illuminate. That will catch most of them. CTY uses the mechanism, has a regen rune as well. Chakram slows him down. Rabbit coming in, using Shikuchi to do what damage he could. But LGD invested a lot into that. Finally got themselves on the board. But Rising Stars, given how well taken they were there, the fact that the Illuminate did catch a bunch, they basically, LGD had the drop. They still didn't even get the tower, just 1 kill for all of that
The
investment.
fuse was up too.
Yep.
On PL. That's really bad for LGD. Nighttime's about to end. Well, he did use darkness, so it will end about 25 seconds time. But looks like Sylar may just get a free kill on DD. If he's able to purge him, no, he's not.
And no detection, so no way to track him down. Fortuitous there. And in the meantime, LGD just scrambling to find golden levels. Zhao A keeping an eye on things here in the river, but it looks like they're ready to push, and why wouldn't they be? 5-1, and with the towers, just 1 tower being down so far, they are already at a 3,000 gold lead, and so much of that, again, in the back pocket of that Phantom Lancer. Whenever you dedicate an offensive tri-lane to hold a hero down, and he comes out on roughly the same level of farm as your solo safe lane dominant Weaver, you know you're in trouble.
Yep, most certainly. Sylar just taking the tower. They just don't really care. Elder Titan Spirit sending around the back. I mean, this draft from LGD, I thought they had a game plan. I thought that it was going to work well, possibly with Keeper to Light, but this just does not work. There's no other way to put it. And they had this triple lane with, it's like somewhat passive, but Timbersaul's not the right hero to put there. Night Stalker mid doesn't really have the aggressive backing around him. Weaver is still trying to farm up his Legion Spear, doesn't have it yet for probably another 1,000 gold. He needs heroes that can just run around. They need like the CM on their team. They need like the Elder Titan on their team and the Razor, not the passive Keeper Light, the relatively passive Naga Siren until she can set things up with her ultimate, and Timbersaw, who so desperately needs levels, the Weaver, who really needs farm too. It just wasn't a lineup built around killing people during first and second nighttime.
Just to build on what you were saying, I want you to look at Rising Star's lineup and think of all the abilities they have that allow them to create space between them and their opponents in situations like we just saw. Whenever they just get all guns forward, they decide they're going to slow push a tower. Look at how much spam they have to make LGD feel like they're in an all-or-nothing situation. Yes, they have Illuminate on their side with Keeper of the Light, and that's all well and good. But between Phantom Lancer, Spirit Lance, between the Astral Spirit of Elder Titan, Razor's Plasma Field, and the Nova, hold on, we're actually going to see a damn near kill on Rabbit, as he was caught out but able to time-lapse out of it, so might prompt a reaction if they're going to pull back. But there's just so many ways for Rising Stars to basically walk up to LGD and say, we have all that, so you can't stay in range unless you want to run through it all. And if you do, we still have a Razor who's going to leash away all the damage of whatever your most damaging hero happens to be. That just makes it so hard for LGD to ever feel comfortable taking an engagement on their terms.
Except during nighttime, but even during nighttime, they're still not getting any kills. Only 1 kill thus far in the game for LGD, 18 minutes in. 18 minutes, 1 kill.
Here we go. They're going to bring someone in. And there's the Naga Sleep. They've got 3 caught out back here, 2 very close together. Chakram down. This should add to their kill total pretty considerably. And they're going to go on Elder Titan. Earth Splitter goes off. They actually mech through it. XDD cleaned up. Earth Splitter's there to slow them down, but Nature's Attendants from QQQ. Look at Zhao 8 just melt. They don't have the damage. They simply don't have the damage. That should have been dead to rights. At least 2 kills. A relatively weak Razor. Granted, as good as he did, well, he did pick up an Ogre Club, so that helps. But him and Crystal Maiden, who is usually about as easy to kill off as any hero in any game, they still just got the CM, and it cost them their mid, who should be feeling dominant right now. This game is already beginning to feel out of hand, and it's going to get worse. We're about to see yet another tower drop, and they're already 5,000 gold behind a Phantom Lancer squad.
It is out of hand, to be honest. DD actually went for a 4-staff instead of a mech too. 4-staff's nice and all, but if they have a mech and you don't, and you have an early game lineup that you need to get kills, you're not going to win those early engagements. And they traded a Night Stalker for a Crystal Maiden. If they keep trading like that, if they don't actually start getting some pickoffs, then I think Phantom Lancer is just going to be unstoppable. He has 1,700 gold right now, very close to his Yasha if he wants to go the Manta and Diffusal build. I think he can just... There's no reason for him not to go that. He can go Heart or Butterfly if he wants to. I mean, to be honest, he could even go Radiance. It doesn't really matter what he goes for as long as he spends his gold somewhere.
Sylar and Rabbit facing off one-on-one. Just look how much damage Spirit Lance is doing. Yep, going to force the time-lapse off. Time-lapse already level 2, so the cooldown on it absurdly low. He's not going to mind doing that. But Sylar just continues to build, and he is continuing to open up a gap between himself and Weaver for the top 5. In terms of net worth, by the way, all belong to Rising Stars. The closest one in range is Timbersaw, and he's below even the Enchantress.
Ooh, yeah. This is just really scary. I don't know why they're playing so passively though. Well, I mean they've doubled their kills. Still, just Xiao 8 still trying to farm away. He look at his items right now: power treads, bottle, and bracer, and magic wand.
Yeah, he looks like a support, like a decently farmed support, instead of a mid-game dominator that he's supposed to be. I mean, 1,300 HP, only 9 armor. I mean, at this point, the Phantom Lancer's just going to be out of control way too fast. There's literally nothing they can do. He's already got a Yasha, so he will be going a Manta build. And once he gets a Manta, they're just going to be able to slow push down every lane until they have taken away total map control, go take a Roche, and then look to take a tier 3.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely no pressure on Rising Stars right now. They're just able to farm out around the map, just do whatever they want, defending against pushes, just push themselves. We see the Lincoln's up on Weaver, but that is not a game-changing item.
Yeah, very defensive item. Usually when if a Weaver can get a Lincoln's up at an extremely fast time and the other team isn't that farmed, he can be a little bit more aggressive. But like you said, it's not something where you go, oh, it's not like a Diffusal Reaver, Diffusal Manta style. And Rabbit caught out. Look again at that spam. They're going to pop the Song of the Siren. Are they even able to engage out on this? This could be risky. Elder Titan's right behind them, not even caught in it. So Song wasted there. They're probably going to have to sack this tower based on that. I don't know that they can defend without that.
Yeah, they might have to sack Roshan too afterwards.
And King J's positioning very good there. He's already level 11, so he's got level 2 Earth Splitter. And we can see he actually slept the creeps there a little bit. But just slow pushing this. And again, Plasma Field, Nova. There's the Earth Splitter. And not going to catch anyone. Splits the wickets with that. Mech's there to get him back up and fighting. Spam ability on LGD's not bad either, between Illuminate, Swarm, and Chakram. But, oh wow, Rabbit forced to spend his time lapse 50 seconds after having his health just melted away. And nope, no deny. Phantom Lancer gets the kill. Rich get richer.
Xiao 8.
Yep, diffused out, hung around, got greedy on the tower. Tower's still alive, by the way. Can they pursue him out? Siler's right there with him. We'll go ahead and Doppelwalk. Gets the Spirit Lance off. Slows him down. One more diffusal charge, and Xiao 8's woes continuing. Look at this. 41 HP. They're going to get the tower denied, too.
Yeah, I mean, they should probably call GG fairly soon. I mean, I think they're just waiting for, like, one big fight, but LGD just can't do anything right now. They can't outfarm. They can't split push. We just saw Xiao 8 get picked off. They can't gank during nighttime. They can't defend towers. Like, what are they going to do at this point?
And Weaver right now just needs damage. And at this point, it feels like he just needs to rush a Desolator and hope he gets it up before this game's over. We see the bottom tier.
Rapier time for him.
Exactly. Some desperate measure. XDD is hanging out down here, will be spotted out. And that'll be the end of poor Crystal Maiden. Pop the Lincolns on our way out, but in the meantime, look at Siler. Siler's happy about that. It's fine. I'll take a little bit more free farm in the off lane. I'll just go ahead and split push you to death, and now you have to decide. Are you all going to react to me and free the map back up, or are you going to go ahead and push there? So they're going to send someone back, but he's going to feel free to even duck into the enemy jungle. Doesn't even have to run back to his own jungle to farm.
He's not scared at all. What should he be scared of? If Night Stalker goes on him, you can just TP away. If he gets silenced, he can just diffuse it off. There's really not a care in the world.
Invis picked up by Yao, and trying to take some farm from Enchantress there. But yeah, at this point, it's just the only risk I feel like Rising. Well, but they've got a Phantom Lancer is the thing. So long as he continues to farm, they could seriously push this game as long as they want, and in theory, they should be fine, especially with Xiao 8 so far behind. He is making progress towards that BKB. Only needs about 600 more gold now to have some magic immunity. That'll help him at least stay alive in these fights a little bit longer, but his damage output's simply not going to be there. He is not over-leveled. In fact, it's the opposite. His levels are quite bad. He's sitting below the Elder Titan right now.
I mean, what is BKB even going to do for them?
Yeah.
At this point, like Razor has a BKB of his own. He can just follow him with static, and he can completely take Night Stalker out of the fight. Still get crushed by natural order. It doesn't help at all. It doesn't. You don't take that much damage from PL illusions, but it doesn't help you kill them. The army's still going to be up after BKB.
Phantom Lancer getting very close to that Manta style. In fact, he's got it. His Manta's now done as soon as he buys it. Yeah, we're talking 25 minutes. Drums, Manta, Diffusal. I mean, the farm rate, and certainly bolstered by the early advantage that was given to him. He's 4-0 now. He was 3-0 coming out of the laning phase. So that offensive tri-lane from LGD just really backfiring in a big way. And now another source of damage appears as the Scepter's now done on QQQ. And we're going to have King J caught mid. Forced to pop his BKB. Now they might want to re-engage. Thought about it. Looked like, yeah, he was thinking about re-engaging, but instead just happy to eat the 10-second BKB and realized it's not that big of a deal. The rest of the team's just so damn far ahead.
If they have that T1 tower up in mid, they definitely should keep this up in case LGD tries a Roshan attempt.
And really, I mean, at this point, LGD's got to do something. I mean, they're trying to buy time and allow their Night Stalker. He does have his BKB done now. Just finished it. The Timbersaw has a Bloodstone up, so he at least has his major core item. But basically, at this point, Phantom Lancer's in fight mode. Other than now with, even opting for a Manta, I mean, he's got 23 armor. And once he builds any kind of survivability, if he picks up a Vit Booster or a Reaver on the way to a Heart, LGD just simply does not have the damage to kill him. He will be able to 1v5 that team.
He has so much armor right now. What in the world? Phantom Lancer's agility gain and with all these items is just insane.
And here we go. Rising Stars grouping up. Looks like they might want to show off the newly won Manta style of Sylar. CTY sitting at level 14. Will have his level 3 ulti before terribly long. He's
there's a smoke. He just barely misses CTY though.
And, yep. DD forced to pull back. Looks like, yep, they're going to smoke on in. Oh, they might be able, if they turn northward, they'll be able to catch Zhao 8 and Yao. Nope, they're going to go ahead and looks like they're just going to dive tier 3, basically. Sentry goes down, and yep, just going to go ahead and cut the creeps. And Razor working on a Scepter now. Very typical build, Mech Scepter, following Phase Boots. Let's see if LGD thinks they can contend this. Zhao 8 doesn't have his ultimate up. And nope, it's going to be a free tier 2. And they can actually out-damage it. Have to bring back the illusions to help. And here come the creeps, so finally they'll be able to get it.
Can they tower for Rabbit on left side though?
Earth Splitter will be off the mark. They do manage to take that down. In the meantime, as you mentioned, Rabbit does get the tower.
Nice deny by DD there.
Yep. So a little bit of a win there for LGD, all things considered.
So much for 6.79 encouraging aggressiveness.
Yeah, I'm kind of baffled by it as well, with these lineups especially. I think teams are still just kind of feeling their way out there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, LGD, I don't know if they practice much with Night Stalker, but still just does not fit in the lineup at all. I thought they had a game plan 0-2 and 1 and Xiao Wei 1 Night Stalker assist and kill in almost 30 minutes time, man. He is just hard pressed to do anything. They really do need this tower down, just because they have so much vision with that up, and they can just always huddle around that mid tower in case anyone is just coming under any sort of pressure. Meanwhile, QQQ just farming away already has a Scepter on a support roaming Enchantress, and the items are certainly not slowing down for Phantom Lancer either. The Fusel Manta drums, like they already talked about, I mean, he could get the Fusel too, he can get Butterfly, it does not really matter.
They're going to take a stab at Roshan, and the Desolator just now finished on Rabbit. This is going to be the window I feel like LGD is going to have to try and turn this around, especially if they can take this Roshan. Looks like they might have figured it out, but they're going to be tardy to the party. Yep, Rosh is gone. DD on Rabbit plus Deso. Very nice sneak there, LGD. And how often do you see that? A team able to sneak a Roshan with the enemy's tier 1 mid still up. Very, very crafty coming out of LGD and very timely. Hang on, we're going to have DDC spotted out. Throws out the ensnare. Will there be an engagement off of it? Yep, they're going to try to chase this down. CTY and XDD. Astral Spirit thrown out. They are going to try to chase down Yao now with the BKB activated on him. In the meantime, Rabbit picks up another kill. The fight split up. Looks like Yao will be pursued by Sylar. In the meantime, here comes the Song of the Siren. Earth Splitter thrown out. Sylar does manage to get the kill. DDC likely to be next on the list. Keeper of the Light already spent the Illuminate, but Zhao 8's popped his BKB. Can he get the job done? CTY, pretty tanky. Mana leaked will be cleaned up. And LGD finally showing some signs of life. Weaver with that Deso is just doing mass amounts of damage. Zhao 8 showed off the BKB, and they're going to get QQQ. He may end up dying for it, and he will. Here comes Sylar on the backside of the fight, though. Chakram back up, and they're going to track down the Elder Titan. So LGD, after taking a major victory in Roshan by sneaking it out, manages to catch Rising Stars asleep at the wheel and close this gap for the first time in a while. Look at that. Almost 7,500 gold they had built as a lead for themselves following Roshan and following that fight, now cut in half.
tower.
Oh,
is
the
under
mobility
attack.
of their lineup was just incredible during that fight. Like CTY popped his BKB very early, but he wasn't able to latch on a target. There was Weaver with Shikuchi, Night Stalker with BKB during nighttime just runs at almost haste move speed. Timbersaw just with Timber Chain 2. So they weren't really able to burst people down during BKB. Also, that was one of the most timely DD runes I've ever seen. If they didn't have the DD rune on Weaver, they wouldn't have been able to kill Roshan. Rising Stars would have forced the issue with Elder Titan Spirit. They should have been more wary of it, though. They have Enchantress creeps, they have Elder Titan, they can just simply ward it, they can just walk in there with PL illusions, they can do many things, just try and scout it out. Siler trying to fight Rabbit on top.
And yeah, a little battle of the carries here. Siler actually coming out a little worse than I think he thought he would. Has to blow Doppelwalk and get away. Here comes the rest of Rising Stars. Now, time-lapse was spent. Oh, they caught him. They caught him and got the Sentry down. Yes, they will get the Aegis. Big play from Rising Stars. Baited that so well. They knew time. Oh, what a great stomp. And they get him again. Rising Stars counter-punching with a vengeance. Take a couple of bad losses, get the Aegis, and get the Weaver. Beautifully executed bait. Beautifully executed synergy of skills. Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed. Rabbit just overextending there. I don't know why he used his time lapse just to maybe take like 600 damage off against a Phantom Lancer. He should have been trading blows against Stellar in the first place, but regardless, looks like they're going to try and take a T2 out of this, possibly a T3. Looking at Rabbit, he does not have, or he does have buyback up 1,000 gold for him, but looks like they're all trying to back off right now.
This tier 1 mid continues to be a major bugaboo for LGD, and you can't underestimate, especially for a team with a Night Stalker. Just having that tier 1 mid, how constricted that has to make him feel. We're 32 minutes into this game, and Rising Star still has their tier 1 mid. That makes movement from Zhao 8 so much more difficult. Scepter now done on CTY, so he's tanked up. He's going to feel very difficult to bring down, and certainly his ultimate going to be no joke moving forward.
Yep, and they can just pick up Ghost Scepters, I think, on a couple of the important heroes on the side of Rising Stars, not Phantom Lancer, because he can just Manta out of most danger. But I think CTY could pick one up if he wanted to. It will just prevent the net plus Weaver Zerg down during BKBs. They need to be able to survive the BKB rush, and once they can do that, Rising Stars can definitely win the fight through the war of attrition with Razor just being able to steal massive amounts of damage, and Ida Storm minus armor wearing on them throughout the fight, especially with the recent Scepter pickup, and Phantom Lancer just making more and more illusions. So the longer the fight goes, the better it is for Rising Stars, as long as they don't suffer significant casualties during the BKBs.
Vlad's now out on our Naga Siren, so she's going to be contributing to the team in other ways. She also found her level 11, which is certainly nice to have the reduced cooldown on her Song of the Siren. Level 16 still a ways away. This is where I really worry for LGD. Almost a hard done on Siler. Just look at this. Between Manta Style, Diffusal, and everything else, looks like Weaver actually finds himself a kill on a solo Crystal Maiden and then managed to get himself away. But with a Phantom Lancer this fat and this difficult to bring down and next to no real valuable AoE potential, I mean, you've got the Illuminate, but Illuminate only does so much. You've got Whirling Death. It only does so much. What you need at this stage of the game is a hero with a Battle Fury or with some kind of natural cleave, a Sven or something like that. Or even just having a Magnus so you can stick in power on a hero to allow them to help melt down those illusions. I mean, outside of just getting the initiation advantage in every single engagement from this point on, Rising Stars is going to just be able to slowly steamroll over LGD.
And Weaver is, I mean, he's okay as a character. He has 3,800 gold right now, but a Heart Phantom Lancer with all these items, oh yeah, getting caught out.
Yep, there it is. Song of the Siren actually buys some time. CDY still getting damage. He's got 168 damage stolen, so he's going to be happy to pursue this out right through that Illuminate. Siler right there has a Spirit Lance at the ready. Still has Manta unused as well. Force Staff on DD might get him out of trouble. Plasma
if they get
field.
DD, though, they can definitely push. Oh, I think they should have just gone up the hill. If they had gotten DD, they can. It's just so much easier to push against this Keeper Light. Already being annoying with the Blinding Light as well as Illuminate. They do not have a pipe yet. Pipe would make this push so much easier. They also don't have the Aegis. Looks like it's about 6 minutes has elapsed.
And Rising Stars. Roche will be responding sometime in the near future. And usually I say that and I know exactly when he'll be responding. This time I do just really mean sometime in the near future. We'll find out together. Siler rushing uphill. And going to be Mana Leaked. He will go ahead and Manta out of that. Zhao 8 came forward for a moment, taking a couple of Impetus Spears. But yeah, this is what I mean. Like Rising Stars between Mech and just how tanky all of their heroes are feeling right now really isn't going to have too much of a problem just letting Phantom Lancer face tank a lot of this and slowly push in. They did get a stomp off and actually caught a few there, but no follow-up afterwards. Chakram doing a good job of trying to make it difficult to push up. The Illuminate along with it. They're going to mech through it. Siler's going to go ahead and rush up. Pops the Lincolns on the Weaver. Rabbit does retreat following that. QQQ standing in the Chakram, eating some unnecessary damage. LGD's doing quite a good job of holding this off for the moment. Song of the Siren will be back up in 30 seconds, too.
Yeah, they need a Phantom Lancer army to go in. They need a pipe and or picking off Keeper Light. Either of those three things would be sufficient for them to push up that T3. But look, or an Aegis too. Looks like they'll be waiting for one of those things. Looking at possible pipe carriers, Enchantress, not enough gold. Elder Titan could do it. We could see Racer get it too, but he's probably going for, I don't know, maybe a refresher possibly. We'll see.
Got 2,100 gold, and like you said, hang on here in mid. King J and XDD spotted out. There's the Timber Chain in. They're going to get XDD for sure. BKB popped, and there's the stop to slow this down. Earth Splitter goes out. Will Rabbit be caught? He will. Got Rabbit and Yao both with it. Yao cleaned up while Rabbit scurries, living up to his namesake as he moves out of the way. And, wow, there's actually a denial that took place there. It's always, that's because of the Bloodstone. But, so the Bloodstone charge spent, I should say. But they take a bit of a counter-initiation win, getting the Timbersaw to spend the Bloodstone at least one time. He will be back up in short order, though, and really that's why the item is just so good on the Timbersaw. He does, he's just so good at making it tough to crack in Tier 3, and having the option for him to do that and not have to pay the new penalties and 6.79 for buyback, just such a nice thing to have in your back pocket.
I mean, CCY is just using Ida starting to farm neutrals at this point, just because he knows the fight's not going to happen. Like LGD, they're just playing passively right now. Roshan, it looks like he's going to respawn about 2/3 of the way in between that. Yeah. So about 10 minutes after the initial death.
And we'll be back up soon. We get to play the Roche Roulette, see which team's going to find out the big boys back up before the other. And LGD is in a decent position for that. They do have a nice team in terms of being able to control the Roche Pit again between Chakram, Weaver's ability to give you some vision and check the Roche Pit relatively free of risk between Time-Lapse and Shikuchi, and of course having Naga Siren, Song of the Siren. In case the other team does overcommit, you can punish that very, very easily with her still sitting in a safe position when she doesn't. Yao has picked up his Shiva's Guard as well, so he's going to be feeling very, very survivable, even more so than usual, and will help deal at least a little bit with the lack of major AoE that they need. I mean, again, they have some, they just need more, and the Shiva's going to contribute to that.
It most certainly is. Siler, I mean, he can pick up a Butterfly at this point, especially with Weaver picking up a Butterfly and not an MKB. Those evasions on illusions are just so annoying to deal with, especially with a single target hero like Weaver. But already Mass Illusion battle in mid. We see Naga Siren illusions facing off versus PL illusions.
The Naga illusions decide, you know what? Let's lose a battle. We're not happy about it. Weaver does manage to pick up a Butterfly. Nice find for him. Problem is, Siler's most likely moving in the same direction, and he's 2,100 gold towards his own Eagle Song if he can get it up. He is about 2,000 gold, so about half of a big item ahead of the Weaver at the moment. And Weaver, again, is keeping pace, and I feel like it's really been a well-played game by Rabbit for the most part. I mean, you take a look. He's topping the kill death board behind or in front of everyone except Siler himself. So he's really not had a bad game. His hero just doesn't match up all that well against the Phantom Lancer.
Not at all. And Siler still just farming away. 2,800 gold right now, so about 3,000 gold away from his Butterfly. Looks like LGD, they're scouting around the Roche Pit right now. Enchantress finally has some vision with this Centaur Conqueror. This is, I mean, they have to get vision of the Roche Pit. They can't give the free Aegis to LGD.
And like you said, Roche up. And really, Rising Stars, about the only thing I feel like they have to fear is that their Phantom Lancer might be in the wrong position and get caught by Song of the Siren and blown up after.
It's pretty hard to blow him up, though.
Yeah, exactly.
4,700 HP and Mantis style and a ton of move speed.
There's the stomp. Caught a couple, but Rising Stars back to playing slow siege. And Rabbit's just kind of too busy being cool at the moment. Just kicking.
Yeah, he's killing the waves in between. If they kill this wave, then and Rabbit kills the next wave, they have to wait like another 30 seconds. But it looks like they're just going at it with this wave.
There's the glyph going to be popped. Rising Stars cracking the top. really needs a Phantom Lancer
They need
army.
to kill the T3
Yep,
before
they're going to get it.
there they go.
There's the Song of the Siren. Let's see if they can initiate off of it. The ultimate coming out from CTY is good. There's the ulti from Zhao 8. And King J, BKB's up on both sides. We're going to see XCD focus down. In the meantime, King J and his passive still going. CTY tries to get away, did sap some damage. Zhao 8 not accomplishing a lot. Yao tried to go in. They lost two, the Razor and the Crystal Maiden, as they tried to retreat. Now they're going to re-engage. QQQ going to be the target. And will be able to go Scepter out of it. King J's still up, so he still has his passive. Sylar going to work on Zhao 8 now. Zhao 8 will not be able to make it away. Now Yao can't really do a whole lot. Rabbit chasing down the real Sylar. And King J right behind him. King J just going to go ahead and TP away. Will be able to make it. Woo.
That was close.
Milliseconds close that time. So LGD actually manages to take a win. They lost the tier 3, but the game goes on.
Yeah, Razor just BKB'd and got focused down. They don't have to pop the BKB right after the Song of the Siren. Like, he just needs to go Scepter, and then after the Ensnare and after their BKBs are down, they can just go to town. So I don't think that they just have to be more judicious about their BKBs. You don't pop it all at the same time, and then one of your teammates just gets focused down in the process. Rabbit is just having a much bigger impact than I suspected that he would have on Weaver. And like early Lincoln's pretty early, and then the Desolator and Treads and Butterfly kicking in now with 2 Aegises to his name. I mean, he is just wrecking. 7-1 and 4, definitely carrying Xiao 8's weight in this game.
No doubt about it. Without such good play out of Rabbit, he really only had one big mistake. He only really had one big mistake, which was falling for the bait and that top lane gank. Other than that, he really has had a solid game, and he is largely the reason LGD is able to hang around. Take a look at the gold. It is beginning to get a little, it's one of those things where it's not panic time yet, but there has to be a sense of urgency on the side of Rising Stars. This game, at one point, nearly 10,000 gold in their favor, has been hovering at 3,500 for quite some time now. The experience has actually swung heavily in favor of LGD. And Zhao 8, I dare say, is finally beginning. It looks like, Rabbit just finding another kill now. But Zhao 8 is at 42 minutes into this game, beginning to feel like a Night Stalker usually does earlier in the game.
Yeah, CTY, even with his tremendous amounts of farm and being third on net worth, he's 1-3-6 right now.
Yep.
He's just unable to latch on to targets. I think their lineup is very good against Razor, which I'm not particularly sure why they drafted Razor so early. I believe their first two were Elder Titan and Razor, but Razor, how is he going to steal his damage? Weaver is just going to max move speed away. Timber's already going to Timber Chain away. Nagasari, you don't really care about stealing her damage. And Night Stalker, it's very difficult to chase him down too. So CTY, even with his farm, is just really unable to do anything. And LGD might pull through in this one. I'm completely taken off guard by that.
Yeah, it's, by all accounts, the Phantom Lancer is ginormous. Like, the fact that he is not having that big of an influence really is just a testament to how well LGD is playing this. They have played so patient. They didn't rush too much. They took their risks when they had to. They defended when they had to. And with the Halberd up on Zhao 8 now, just taking away one more option for damage, no matter who it happens to be, they're slowly bringing this. Yeah, this game is now even in terms of map control. They're still one tower behind, having lost their tier 3. But this is scary times for Rising Stars. They had to feel like this game was, oh wow, DDC popping the song. Now they're going to go ahead and turn it around. Sylar spotted out. Will Manta out of the Ensnare, or trying to Manta out of it. There's going to be the Earth Splitter, caught a couple, and Crystal Maiden doing good damage. Sylar staying alive, but LGD focusing him down. He's down to about a quarter health. They're going to see the Aegis pop. Sylar still up. XDD still up. Sylar was stunned for a moment. CTY still on the low ground, but Sylar did not drop there. If they get Sylar there, it's hard to imagine how much different this game could begin looking. Just 26 kills split right down the middle in a 44-minute game. But LGD just showing their experience in this game. And look at that. For the first time since 2 minutes roughly into this game, the gold advantage is in favor of LGD.
Yeah, it really all started, I think, with that first Roshan. Just LG just being able to sneak in. Rising Stars had like complete map control. They had a huge gold lead. They had the tower advantage too, but unable to translate into good map control. And a very experienced team like LGD will abuse the fact that abuse the inexperience of a team like Rising Stars, just unable to control that Roshan pin. And after that, Rabbit just went to town. Now he has all these items. Once he gets his MKB up, he can kill whatchamacallit, the Phantom Laser much faster. If he had MKB that fight, Phantom Lancer would have died. And looks like Weaver, he has 3,200 gold right now, but if he buys his MKB right now, he won't have enough for buyback. I also think that DD has been playing extremely well on the Keeper Light. It didn't really mesh well in their strategy, like in like terms of synergy and stuff, but it's still pretty good. Keeper Light just doing a very good job of illuminating, defending these pushes, keeping their mid racks alive, and just having really good blinding lights and mana leak, constantly mana leaking Phantom Lancer.
LGD back up under their own tier 3. We see that Rising Stars beginning to want to do some work with this lineup. Sylar still very far ahead, regardless of how the last couple of engagements have gone. He is gigantic still yet. Taking a look back at the net worth, though, Weaver is literally less than 10 gold and just surpassed him. So Weaver now the highest farm hero on the board. But again, his hero does not necessarily match up that well against a Phantom Lancer unless he has some help from his team and they can spot the real Phantom Lancer and take him out of the fight very, very quickly.
And now we have a game, and Roshan is going to respawn in about 4 minutes time. This one is with the cheese. This is going to be a very, very big one. Weaver still trying to manage his gold so that he does have buyback. He needs, let's see, 1,600 gold plus 3,000, so a little over 3,600 to account for increase in buyback over time.
Sylar looking for, one would imagine. See, take a look at him. Yeah, I mean, he's
I don't even know what item he gets next.
Yeah, at this point, it's tough to call. Maybe, hell, I don't know, an Assault Cuirass?
People go second hearts sometimes on him. You can go Daedalus if you need damage. I personally think he needs a Lincoln's just to prevent the mana leak. Mana leak's just so annoying. If you don't have any mana on Phantom Lancer, you're just useless. So I think it'd be, I mean, but do you really want that as your like last item before BOTs?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's a tough position for him.
Here we go. Sylar moves in. Off goes the Shiva. Sylar, they have spotted him out, and he is silenced out now. They're keeping this racks up. They will go ahead and glyph it. Do they want to engage off of it? Naga with sleep up. Could have slept right there, and they're going to be turned away again. Earth Splitter thrown out there just as
they can catch him right now. Xiao Ace hot on their tail. Weaver was actually putting pressure on bottom so that one of them retreated. Looks like Sylar actually retreated, but Xiao Ace unable to find anybody right then. He actually has an AC on himself. Wow, he's actually caught out quite nicely in front. Keep to the Light has a Scythe of Vice. Where did all these items start coming in? Night Stalker was super poor. Now he has BKB, Heaven's Halberd, as well as an AC. Keeper Light with Force Mech and Scythe and Gem being able to hold that for a long time. Timbersaw with a Heaven's Halberd of his own. And Naga Siren's also going for the Heaven's Halberd. But the Heaven's Halberd is actually a really good item versus Phantom Lancer. Firstly, he doesn't get BKB. Secondly, his images don't get MKB, so that the images can't actually replicate that effectively because of the evasion. And here's a smoke.
Speaking of evasion, Butterfly the pickup on Razor as well. So some very fun builds to watch as LGD and Rising Stars both play, to my knowledge, their first game on this patch, 6.79.
Oh, are they going to see Sylar? They have an Observer Ward here. It is, his thing's going to pop, though. They know that they're here. Oh, wait, no. Do they?
Nope.
If they have a Song of the Siren.
Now they do. Spotted each
Naga
other.
Siren has the haste, though. She can catch him with Song of the Siren if she wants to. She's running. Oh, no.
Thought about it. Instead, both teams turned away. Taking a look at Roshan, we can see Enchantress creep, keeping an eye. It's going to be...
They should have done that for the first one. At least they learned their lesson. They learned their lesson that they should have been scouting out Roshan all along. And now Enchantress is being really smart and dumping her Enchantress creep in there. PL should do the same with his illusions if there's no Enchantress creep there, or just send out your spirit from King J. So they have to keep tabs on Roshan, especially with it respawning in about 1 to 4 minutes time. We don't know yet.
Both teams snatching up the last remaining bits of smoke. And again, Roche Roulette just about to kick off. We'll find out how long it's going to be. 8 minutes will have ticked away when the timer expires. Looks like Rising Stars is ready to point their guns forward once again and start moving down this middle lane. This tier 3 and mid has been gone for a while. Something else worth mentioning, brought it up last series. Every time they do this, they have to bring the racks down from full health, basically, because of the buffed regen. Now a plus 5 HP regen on the melee racks, not the ranged, as opposed to the original plus 2. Roche.
Rabbit's coming from behind, though. We may see a fight outside of the base.
Here we go. There's the sleep. They're grouped up. Yao's in position. DDC is there. Going to look to get the Riptide off. Chakram down, and here we go. QQQ taking a lot of damage. There's the Earth Splitter actually caught Xiao 8. In the meantime, CDY sucking a lot of damage out. QQQ's right on his back foot, and they do manage to clean him up. LGD could be in a bit of trouble without him in the fight. Here's Sylar, who did get caught with the mana link. We do see the Crystal Maiden blown up by Weaver. Now Yao's the target. Sylar doesn't have enough mana to use his Spirit Lance. There's a nice stomp. Weaver's still up and running. Has spent his time lapse, though. Lincoln's will be popped the second time.
Oh, 16 HP left on the Elder Titan. I think that he thought that it was going to kill him. I did too. Well, they managed to kill the Gem Bear. I don't actually know if anyone picked it up, though.
It was Crystal Maiden. Rabbit's still chasing this out. He's going to be leashed out and forcing Shikuchi away. The gem. Yeah, it was picked up. It was sitting right here.
Yeah, someone's sitting with a bracer, though.
Yep.
Well, if they had killed King J there, it would have almost certainly translated into a Roshan attempt, or at least a fake Roshan attempt. Looks like it's going to respawn in pretty shortly. 40 seconds time.
Yep. And so very short respawn, roughly a minute and change on this Roshan.
What is Weaver going to get now? He's almost maxed, though. He has MKB, Butterfly, Desolator, as well as a Lincoln Sphere, 5,500 gold to boot.
Rapier. Do it. Do it, Rabbit. You know you
He's
want
a little bit too fragile right now. I wish. It would be exciting. What item does he go for, though? I don't know. It's pretty difficult. He got caught by a stomp that fight, though. Yeah. At the very beginning of the fight, he got caught by a stomp. He tried to time-lapse the second one because he can't just sit there for 5 seconds.
Here we
while
go.
his team gets demolished.
Rising Stars, once again, going to move through. Running up mid lane, they've got the entire enemy team flanking them. DDC will have Song of the Siren back up in 5 seconds. They'll be able to engage off of it again if they want, and they want. Oh, wow. 4 of them caught together. The Elder Titan just a little bit behind. There goes the Shivas, and they're going to go for it. TDY is in trouble. He's in the process of dropping. King J still standing. DD going to be force staffed away. Zhao 8, BKB through a lot of that. They managed to get the Razor and the Crystal Maiden, and King J now down. Sylar standing and fighting by himself. Will they keep an eye on him? They will. They're going to get Sylar. Trying the turn, caught out, and a triple kill going the way of Rabbit. Capitalized. 1,400 gold he earned shutting down Phantom Lancer, and they make it a full wipe. LGD, who played behind the whole game, hung around, took them 40 minutes to get things back in line, but now the equivalent of a victory lap as they march down mid and look to take a set of racks or at least force buybacks out of this team. Phantom Lancer can buy back if he wants to. The Enchantress can as well. That's it, though.
Rabbit, 8,500 gold right now. This is almost certainly at least 1 rack. So, Sylar buybacks. What about CTY? CTY, not enough gold for buyback. He does have a Ghost Scepter now, but still dying in each and every one of these fights. Enchantress has a Ghost Scepter too, but I don't really think those two alone can defend. Looks like they may be going for a Roche attempt right now. I think that LGD can certainly take this fight. I think that Rabbit should spend his gold right now. He has way too much gold to just be sitting on that mound. It's like, reminds me of Mushi.
Very much agree. I mean, at this point, I'm like you. What do you even grab with him? I mean, he's got pretty much every item you ever see a Weaver have.
Yeah, Daedalus is pretty good too. I would not mind I don't even know. It's so difficult right now.
He's going to get a heart. The heart was what I was going to say. Is like, at this point, why not just play Super Save and just say, you know what, it's fine. I'm just going to give myself a Gorillion HP, and I'm Weaver, so I'm going to have time lapse. If I get in trouble, I'll Shikuchi away, stand and suck my thumb for 10 seconds, then come in and kill your whole team. It's fine. Yeah, heart's not bad. I think he could sell his Desolator for another orb too, if he wanted to. He can go like Satanic plus Daedalus, I guess. But that's way more gold than he has right now. And there's a completed heart right there. One shot buys a heart and still has 3,700 gold at this point. And he is pretty much 6-slotted. Unless he wants to replace his boots, he's done. And these are not like 6-slotted like you sometimes see where you still got a drums or something hanging around your inventory. You're talking some major freaking items in his inventory. He is donezo. Now it's just a matter of if they can repeat the success they had in mid. Being able to isolate Sylar down, make sure they have vision of him, and blow him up after the rest of his team has been dismantled. And that's what Weaver's really excellent at. He doesn't match up well against Phantom Lancer as a hero, especially when he's behind. But what he does excel at is taking away the pieces around the Phantom Lancer, making sure he's the last one standing, that his army really doesn't matter that much because he has no team to help support it.
Yeah, they're just doing a really good job of kiting Sylar there. Just like netting him, you can't Manta out of net, and unless he Manta actually like dodges it, you can't Manta during net and remove it. Constantly blinding light on him and mana leak so he can't move. Weaver just running circles around him too. So Phantom Lancer has his work cut out for him, and maybe he can get a BKB, but it doesn't really help your illusions, so you don't really see Phantom Lancer get on. It's pretty difficult to build for this sort of game. Looks like DDC. Oh, he gets 4 staff so they can pick off CTY.
Beautifully played. CTY gonna be caught out, cleaned up, and sent back to the well. That hurts. And with
that was
him,
a very nice force staff by Keeper.
it was. And buyback, no buybacks for anyone except on the side of LGD. They're going to go be able to take this fight almost without a doubt. Razor down for 60 seconds. And Razor's relevance in this match has begun to wane a little bit, so it's not the biggest.
It hasn't even mattered, like, to be honest, it hasn't really mattered, like, in the 20 to 40 minute phase of the game either. Like, he didn't really do that much. He wasn't able to suck that much damage from Rabbit, and he wasn't able to survive for the most part. And even with this huge amount of items too. So Razor is like not that hero that you can just pick in every single game. He has to be used for like strong melee carries such as Life Stealer, such as Troll Warlord too.
And Phantom Lancer actually picked himself up a Basher. It's an interesting item choice, a nice way to try to lock people down. Zhao's going to be there, pops a BKB. They get the racks for sure. Here comes the Shiva's in. Their damage just bouncing off of LGD at this point. Everyone is so tanky. Like, I mean, put it this way. Zhao 8 is one of the least tanky heroes in terms of the pure frontline fighters, and he has 2,600 HP. That's the
as well
standard.
as 33 armor, BKB, Aegis, and Heaven's Halberd.
And he's one of the least tanky ones. You look at Weaver. Weaver's at 28. He has 18 pure armor. He has a Lincoln's. He has a butterfly. He has a heart.
He's going to no boots. The no boots Weaver build with Daedalus. That's what I like to see. He doesn't need travels necessarily because Keeper Light can ferry him around. So it's kind of smart pickup. I think that DD also needs BOT so that he can drag the Weaver around. But I mean, with this sort of build, it's like still a little bit risky just because Keeper Light doesn't have a TP scroll, so that if Rising Stars goes for like a throne attempt, they can't really defend it. And with the no T3 in middle, they can actually just go straight for the T4s and then the throne. It's kind of a long shot for Rising Stars, but they've just been losing every single one of these 5-on-5s in the last 15-20 minutes. And LGD has the they have the Aegis and the Cheese right now. Aegis is on Xiao 8 on the Night Stalker, and Cheese has been given to the Timbersaw. So, I mean, I don't see Rising Stars winning this push in their base. I think they should just go for the throne right now and abuse their lack of mobility. They don't actually have any TP scrolls on any of their heroes.
Wow, that's...
yeah, they have absolutely zero right now. I think that's the best attempt for them to win right now. It looks like they want to defend. I think they're just going to lose the racks.
Rabbit, by the way, hitting for roughly 460 damage, give or take, with pure right clicks before crit. He's going to be able to one-shot Crystal Maiden and Enchantress, literally. If he hits a crit on one of them, they will just explode into a fine powdered dust.
That's so scary. Yeah, I think Rising Stars just have to go for the Hail Mary right now. Looking at the gold graph right now, they had a 7,000 gold lead. It's dropped to 14,000 in favor of the other team. So we're talking about like a massive 20,000 gold swing in the past probably 30 minutes or so. Man, this has been a really long game.
58 minutes. And yeah, this has been one of the longer games I've casted in quite some time. Rising Stars and LGD making a show of it here in game one. Once again, want to thank everyone for being a part of the show. We're just about an hour in and have seen some interesting things so far, and all of us still adjusting to the new patch, but certainly having a lot of fun doing it. And so proud to call you guys fans and viewers of the D2L. Our great pleasure to bring you these games. We have another best of 3 coming up, but hell, we still got a lot of play of this one. This could end up having 2 more games after this one, and as close as this one has been, that wouldn't surprise me at all. There's the bots picked up on the Timbersaw. Doesn't look like Rising Stars is really on the same frequency you are, though. They're just really not making any effort to do anything but try to play defensive.
Yeah, I don't think they should be playing defensive right now. I think they just have to keep pressuring the racks, and they still have, they actually have 1 TP scroll on Night Stalker and the POTs. Oh, looks like there's a huge engaged CCY likely to target.
And Siler, yep, we'll be able to back off. CDY pops the BKB. And LGD just not liking the way that shaped up, I don't guess. Really looking and hoping to catch a couple.
Yeah, no BKB on Razor, though, now. This is really bad. And he actually sheeps a Dark Troll Summoner. Very unfortunate.
Shivas plus Chakram, a lot of slow. Zhao 8's going to move in with BKB pop. BKB's on both sides. King J staying close. There's an ensnare on the CTY. 4 staffed out of it. Rabbit locked down, forced the time lapse, was being blown up quite well. The rest of his team interrupted by the stomp from the Elder Titan, so unable to join the fight. Now, this is naked here in mid. No racks, no tower. I'm a little surprised they didn't just go for it, but it looks like they're happy to rotate to bottom and push with this monstrous-ass creep wave.
Yeah, Nagasaran isn't actually level 16 yet, so we're looking at a 120-second cooldown on Silent Siren. On top of that, Xiao 8's Aegis just expired, like at the start of that fight, so I think those couple factors combined made them disengage. Rabbit also got abyssaled up by the Phantom Lancer, but he can just time lapse out of it. And now that he knows he has an abyssal, he can just play very safely when he doesn't have his Lincolns up.
And we can see a little split push action. Looks like they just want to turtle out another Roshan. Rosh will be respawning sometime between now and sometime between 16 minutes and 4 minutes from now. We'll find out just how soon.
What is Rabbit going to do with his gold? He's sitting at 5,100 right now.
I don't know.
Replace Desolator, perhaps.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Just
Like, I don't know whether another Daedalus would improve his damage over a Desolator. I think so. It'd probably be pretty slight. I'm not sure. I'd have to do the math on that one.
needs to invest it wisely into a well-balanced portfolio. That's what they tell me every time I ask what I should do with my money. But Rabbit,
King J,
just look at this, getting credit a couple times, turns and blows the Shivas. Rabbit's still right on him, and yep, see King J. That's a big pickup. That is a big pickup. He's down for 65 seconds. He does not have buyback.
Yep, 120 gold. I think they could just push with this. They could wait for Aegis too. Looks like the 8-minute mark is just about to hit. Checking out the Roche timer. Looks like it is going to be a very long respawn.
Yep, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. They're going to catch QQQ and CTY. Looks like CTY is going to be the goal and lockdown. This is probably your GG.
Yeah, this has to be GG.
And a long, drawn-out game that has gone past an hour now. Again, I'm going to bring this up. Just look at this. There was a point, I mean, it looks like it was never that out of hand, like LGD was never that far behind. They were close to 10,000 gold behind at one point. They've just swung it so violently that their lead right now makes the other lead look tiny. Siler comes back out and Razor buys back. Siler trying to do what he can. This is their last stand, and it will be coming to an end ingloriously. CTY, lockdown and snared, 4 staffs there. They're trying to just hold the line, but the overwhelming attack damage, too much to weather. Siler can do nothing by himself. And Rattlesnake, or excuse me, Rising Stars. I mean, really, this has got to be just, from a mental standpoint, just a devastating game to lose like this. I mean, we finally see Siler getting an army going, but LGD just doesn't care. And that'll be it. This has to be devastating. To lose a game that you knew you were this far ahead in. 20-1 on Rabbit. 20-1 to the 10-3 of the Phantom Lancer. What a turnaround for LGD Gaming.
Don't try and outfarm LGD and play the passive farm game with them.
And what we talk about it all the time, you know, you and I have touched on it almost every time we've casted LGD, which is they are a team that very much loves the 5-man team fight, and there's good reason. They're damn good at it. And in the end, LGD just able to hold the line when they could. Rising Stars just a little too passive when they maybe should have been trying to be a little more creative in the end. Phantom Lancer finishes up with 595 gold per minute. Compare that to Rabbit, who finishes with 697 GPM, 21-7. And yeah, that mentally, that has to be not only an exhausting game, but one that is very difficult to bounce back from a moral standpoint. 16-28, the final kill score. LGD gets one over on Rising Stars after trailing for damn near 40 minutes, 62 minutes and 40 seconds. The final game time. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers, live here on the floor of our studio in downtown San Francisco. A long one, but that's all right. We still got a lot more Dota ahead. We've got game 2 on the way. LGD going to look to make it a sweep and solidify their position at the top of our standings. Rising Stars, in their first appearance, does not want to start things with a loss. They're going to try to win 2 in a row and dethrone LGD, give them a blemish. And of course, then we have our third series coming up as well. That'll be beginning at midnight Pacific Daylight Time. That'll be 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And for our European brothers and sisters, we'll be kicking off, about breakfast time around 9 a.m. So make sure you stay locked for the rest of this series and looking ahead to our third series of the night here on the HyperX D2L. I'm AC. That's Merlini. We'll be right back.